Right now, at this very moment, 4 astronauts are hurtling through space toward the moon at 25,000 miles per hour, and they're breaking records that haven't been broken in more than 50 years. They're farther from Earth than any human being alive, farther than any human being has been since 1972. And they're capturing photographs that will change how we see our own planet forever. This is the Artemis II mission, and I just couldn't wait to show you what they're capturing. For over 5 decades, we've waited for this moment. For over 50 years, no human has traveled beyond low Earth orbit. No human has seen Earth from the vantage point that these 4 astronauts are seeing right now. And the images they're transmitting back? They're absolutely breathtaking. They're revealing things about our planet that we've forgotten, things we need to remember. But before they reach the moon and capture footage that will define a generation, they're looking backward, toward home. And what they're seeing is forcing us all to confront a profound truth about the world we live in. Let me show you what I mean. This first image is something special. It's the entire planet beautifully lit up. But here's the thing that makes it remarkable. The Earth is upside down from how we normally see it. Our entire perspective is inverted, and that inversion is intentional. Because when you see something from a perspective you've never seen before, you see it differently. You understand it differently. Looking at this photograph, you can see North and West Africa stretching across the frame, Spain visible with clarity, and if you look carefully, parts of South America peeking into view. The clouds are spectacular, swirling white patterns that show weather systems we live within every single day without ever seeing them from above. And at both poles you can see the aurora, the northern lights, the southern lights, those dancing ribbons of light that humanity has admired for thousands of years, now visible from 22,000 miles away. But what really strikes me when I look at this image is something that's almost invisible. It's so thin, so delicate, that you might miss it entirely. Look at the edge of the planet. See that blue line? That's our atmosphere. That's the only thing standing between us and the vacuum of space. That thin, gossamer layer is protecting 8 billion humans from radiation, from cosmic rays, from meteorites, from the harsh reality of an unforgiving universe. We take it for granted. We forget how fragile it is. But from 22,000 miles away, you can't forget anymore. You see what it really is. A delicate shield, a miraculous coincidence of chemistry and physics that allows life to exist. Now, the astronauts also captured some incredible footage during the launch sequence. There's this beautiful video of the emergency launch abort system being ejected once it was no longer needed, watching it fall away from the spacecraft, tumbling through the atmosphere. It's a moment of separation, a moment where the mission crosses a threshold from which there's no turning back. And then there's this image of Orion accelerating away from Earth, the spacecraft pushing forward with incredible velocity. And if you look really carefully, you can see something that gives this photograph historical significance. On the left side of the image, you can see the outline of the window of the Orion module. You can see the frame where the astronauts are looking out at this view. It's not just Earth suspended in space. It's Earth as seen through human eyes, through the perspective of the people experiencing it. That changes everything about what the photograph means. But here's where this story gets really interesting. Because the most striking image the crew captured, it was taken completely at night. Think about that for a moment. The Earth was dark. The sun was on the other side of the planet. By all rights, the photograph should have been black, should have shown nothing. But the astronauts knew something that most people don't know about long-exposure photography in space. They knew that if you expose the camera long enough, if you let enough light in, the impossible becomes visible. So they took a long exposure, and what appeared was magic. The nighttime Earth suddenly became visible, lit by moonlight. The land masses disappeared into darkness, but they were revealed by something else entirely. City lights. Thousands of city lights dotting the continents, every city, every town, every human settlement shining like stars against the darkness. This image is profound for reasons that go beyond its technical achievement, because when you see your planet lit up by human civilization at night, you see something you've never seen before. You see the fingerprint of humanity. You see where we've built, where we've settled, where we've created light in the darkness. But there's more. Because the exposure was long enough, because the camera was open long enough, something else became visible. Stars. Actual stars. Usually, when we photograph Earth from space, the planet is so bright that the exposure has to be incredibly short. Long enough to capture Earth's daylight side, but not so long that the sensor gets overwhelmed, which means starlight never makes it through. But in this image, the stars are visible behind the Earth. You can see stars through the darkness surrounding our planet. And the brightest point in that darkness, that's not a star at all. That's Venus, our planetary neighbor, visible alongside Earth in a photograph taken from 22,000 miles away. When I look at this image, I'm reminded of something that Carl Sagan said about the pale blue dot photograph taken during the Voyager 1 mission. He talked about how that single image changed humanity's perspective on itself. How seeing Earth from so far away, so small, so fragile, created a shift in human consciousness. That's what these Artemis II photographs are doing right now. They're creating that shift. They're reminding us what we're fighting for, why these missions matter. We can compare these new images to photographs taken during the Apollo era. This image was taken in 1972 during Apollo 17, the last mission to the moon. Before Artemis II, before these astronauts, the last time humans went to the moon. Over 50 years ago. And in both photographs, everyone who had been born at the time is in these images, except for a handful of people, the people on the spacecraft, the people experiencing this moment. That's a profound thought. All of human history, captured in a photograph. Except for the observers. The Artemis II crew also captured this stunning image of Earth peeking out from behind the windows of the Orion spacecraft. You can see the curvature of the planet. You can see the darkness of space. And you can see the frame of human technology. The window, the module, the spacecraft that's carrying these astronauts toward the moon. Then there's this photograph, which shows something called the Terminator. That's the line between day and night on Earth, and it's strikingly obvious in this image. Sharp, defined. You can see exactly where sunlight ends and darkness begins. It's a beautiful reminder that Earth is a sphere spinning through space, that we live on a world that's constantly rotating, constantly moving, constantly changing. We have similar photographs from the Apollo missions, this one from Apollo 13. That mission had its own story of crisis and survival. But what's remarkable is that we can compare it directly with what Artemis II is capturing now. We can see how the technology has improved, how the clarity has increased, how our ability to document this journey has evolved. Now, here's something that I find absolutely fascinating. The Artemis II crew was given iPhones to use during the mission, not specialized cameras, not equipment built specifically for spaceflight over the course of decades, regular iPhones, the same device that most of us carry in our pockets. And the photographs they took with those iPhones, they're among the most remarkable space photographs ever captured. There are these silhouetted portraits of the astronauts looking out the Orion windows at Earth. Christina Koh and Reed Wiseman, framed against the backdrop of our entire planet. These aren't official NASA photographs taken with million-dollar equipment. These are personal moments, captured on technology that's become ubiquitous in human civilization. What that means is profound. It means that the experience of looking at Earth from space, of capturing that moment, is becoming accessible. It's becoming something that regular technology can document. It's becoming part of our collective human experience in a way that was impossible before. These portraits will live long in the legacy of Artemis II, not because they're technically perfect, but because they're real. They're human. They're the perspective of people experiencing something that only 24 humans in all of history have ever experienced. And as the Orion spacecraft continues on its trajectory, Earth is getting smaller. The planet that has been the home of every human being who has ever lived is becoming a smaller and smaller object in the window. Soon, the crew will be at the moon. They'll be orbiting the place where humans walked 51 years ago, and they'll be capturing footage that will define this generation's relationship with space exploration. The images from the moon will be extraordinary. I know that. I'm already prepared to bring you the very best of them. Every photograph, every piece of footage, Every moment of this historic mission, explained and analyzed in the way that only this channel can do. But right now, in this moment, these photographs of Earth are telling us something important. They're telling us what we have to protect. They're showing us what's at stake. They're reminding us why we explore, why we push boundaries, why we reach for something greater than ourselves. This is just the beginning of the Artemis II story. But it's a beginning that's grounded in something real, something tangible, something we can see and understand and feel. If you want to see all the photographs from Artemis II, if you want to understand what each image means, if you want to follow this mission as it unfolds in real time, subscribe to this channel. Because I'm going to be bringing you every incredible moment, every historic image, every perspective that redefines how we see ourselves and our place in the universe. The astronauts are hurtling toward the moon. History is being made right now, and I want to make sure you're here to see it. All of it. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.